struggling with negative energy at home. This Archangel Michael prayer has protected thousands. Try it before midnight or regret it. Before midnight, a shift is taking place, and this message is not for everyone. There are moments in the spirit where time bends and eternity speaks, and this, child of light, is one of them. If you are reading this before midnight, understand, you were led here. The hour is not casual. The call is not general. This message has bypassed the many to reach the few. And if your spirit feels disturbed, unsettled, or heavy, you are the few. For there are those who sense what cannot be explained, a pressure in the atmosphere, a restlessness at night, a coldness in the room that logic cannot interpret. These signs are not just emotional. They are spiritual intrusions, a signal that your home, your sanctuary, is under an invisible siege. And yet, it is written, He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways, Psalm 91:11. And one stands above them all in battle, Archangel Michael, the divine warrior, the commander of heavenly hosts. He who cast down the dragon in the book of Revelation now stands with sword drawn again, ready to defend the righteous, the called, the chosen. But he is not dispatched by noise. He is not moved by panic. He is invoked through silence, summoned by purity, activated through obedience. Homes across the earth have come under strange attacks, confusion in the air, arguments without cause, spiritual fatigue, sudden fear, unshakable dread. These are not simply coincidences. They are coordinated. And those who feel it, those whose hearts sense something deeper, have been marked for deliverance tonight. But understand this, the presence of God is not noisy. The power of Michael is not triggered by anxiety. Heaven moves when you are still. The moment you pray with reverence, when you create silence in the physical realm, you open a gate for angelic intervention in the spiritual. There is no protection without posture. There is no covering without surrender. If this message resonates with you, don't harden your heart. Do not brush it off as mere emotion. The warning is real. The time is short. And the shift is already beginning. Before midnight, make space. Make room. Make war, not with your hands, but with your faith. Type I receive this in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 7777 is now in effect. If you hear this before midnight, heaven has not passed you by. Hear this now, not with your ears, but with your spirit. For the heavens are roaring, the atmosphere is shifting, and the realms of light and darkness are at war. And in this hour, in this very night, Archangel Michael is being loosed to those whose homes have been shaken, whose peace has been stolen, whose spirits have been wrestling without knowing why. There is a battle taking place not outside your walls, but within them. And you, yes, you, have been chosen to stand, not in fear, but in divine authority. Invoke now the name of Michael, the guardian of light, the sword-bearer of heaven, the destroyer of demonic deception. For when Michael is summoned, darkness cannot linger. When he is present, evil must retreat. He is not a soft angel. He is not gentle in war. He stands with a flaming blade drawn from the altar of heaven itself, and tonight he comes for your house. Do not be mistaken. The unrest you've been feeling is not random. The sleepless nights, the sharp tensions between loved ones, the confusion that descends for no reason at all. These are not just emotional fluctuations. These are assignments. Dark forces have crept in through portals of compromise, words spoken in anger, objects left unexamined, spirits untested. Your home has become a battleground, not because you are weak, but because you are marked. Heaven has called your name, and now hell seeks to silence your rise. But here is the truth. This prayer, this ancient call for protection, has shielded thousands. It has covered families. It has broken spiritual sieges that lasted for years. And tonight, it has found you. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. The clock is ticking, but grace is still extended. Before midnight strikes, you must decide. Will you open the door to heaven's warrior? Will you create stillness for the sword of light to enter? You don't need perfect words. You don't need a priest, a prophet, or a stage. You need surrender. You need reverence. You need to listen. Light a candle. Stand in silence. And say this from your soul. Archangel Michael, appointed by the Most High, I summon your sword to guard my home. Drive out the unseen, silence the voices not of God, and establish peace where there had been war. Cover this house in light. In the name of the Almighty, I receive divine protection. I welcome the shift. Amen. If your spirit is unsettled, know this: not all will understand this message. Many will scroll past. Many will laugh. But the chosen recognize the shift. The elect feel the vibration in their bones. The awakened know when heaven is near. And if you hear this before midnight, heaven has not passed you by. Let fear depart. Let faith rise. Let Michael enter. Type I am shielded in the comments if this message has touched your spirit. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. There is something in the atmosphere, and it is not just your imagination. You felt it, haven't you? That unspoken heaviness when you walk into a room. That tension in the air that no one can name, yet everyone feels. The strange coldness that clings to your skin even when the thermostat says it's warm. The arguments that spark without cause. The sudden urge to cry, to isolate, to sleep all day, or worse, to scream in silence. These are not ordinary emotions. These are spiritual symptoms. When darkness cannot reach your spirit directly, it targets the atmosphere around you. It lingers in corridors. It seeps into conversations. It drapes itself in silence and feeds off confusion. And if left unchallenged, it settles, not just around you, but within you. That's why this isn't a call to simply feel better. This is a war cry against what's been allowed to grow in the shadows. There are nights when sleep becomes warfare. You close your eyes, but peace does not come. You hear faint whispers, strange thuds, unexplained creaks. You toss. You turn. You feel watched, and yet no one is there. Or is there? Some have laughed off these signs. But you, the awakened one, have not. You know in your bones something is not right. Something is in the house. It may have come through an object. It may have entered through a person. It may have been passed through bitterness, jealousy, or fear. Yes, fear opens doors. Fear is a portal. And once it's opened, energy attaches. Spirits observe. Darkness waits. This is not superstition. This is spiritual law. And what you tolerate, you authorize. Be careful. Someone close to you, yes, even someone you love, may be carrying energy they themselves do not understand. It is not always their fault. Sometimes it's ancestral. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it is transferred by touch, by word, or by soul ties. But one thing is certain. The enemy rarely shows up as a monster. It comes through what looks familiar. And this is why discernment is your greatest weapon. You don't need to accuse. You don't need to confront. You need to pray. You need to take authority not in the flesh, but in the spirit. For what is disrupting your peace is not just noise, it is a presence. And that presence can only be dismantled by the holy fire of prayer and the protective command of Archangel Michael. Tonight, before the clock strikes midnight, speak to the unseen, not in fear but in faith. Declare aloud, this house belongs to the Lord. Every unclean spirit, every presence of confusion must leave. This atmosphere is shifting. Peace is returning. By divine right, I call Archangel Michael to cleanse what hides in silence. Low energy of darkness may remain here. This house is covered in light. You have the authority. You have the backing of heaven. You are not imagining it. You are discerning it. And the more you trust your discernment, the stronger your protection becomes. Don't just clean the house physically, cleanse it spiritually. Your emotions are not betraying you. They are alerting you. This isn't paranoia. This is prophetic sensitivity. Honor it. Obey it. And don't wait until midnight strikes. Take action. Take your home back. Type I claim my peace in the comments if you know this word is for you. Blessing code 1155 is now breaking every hidden chain. This isn't just a message. This is warfare for the soul. If this word stirred your spirit, if this battle feels like your battle, then step in and sow into the light. When you support this mission, you are helping the Word of God reach homes in darkness, activating protection, healing, and spiritual restoration for others just like you. This is how the oil flows from one house to another. This is how light overtakes shadows. I feel led to tell you, your seed will not fall to the ground. It will rise as a shield, and the Lord Himself will multiply it back in protection, favor, and supernatural rest. Your giving is not a donation. It is a prophetic act of agreement. You can become a YouTube member, bless this ministry through Super Thanks, or give through PayPal using the link in the video description. When you give, you declare, this message must reach others like me. So rise now, don't delay. Heaven is watching. Give. Activate. Be the light. Your home is not just walls. It is a spiritual gate. And gates attract warfare. Listen carefully. What you've been calling bad energy, what you've been labeling as tension, fatigue, or simply a strange atmosphere, it is more than emotion. It is more than environment. It is a targeted spiritual conflict. A battle being waged because of what you carry, because of who you are becoming, and most of all, because of what your home represents in the spirit realm. Your home is not merely a place where you sleep, eat, and rest. No, your home is a spiritual gate, a portal between realms. a place of transaction, a place where destiny is either strengthened or sabotaged. When God sets his hand upon a person, the atmosphere around them becomes marked. And what is marked by heaven is also observed by hell. This is why you felt the pressure. This is why the atmosphere in your house has shifted. The arguments, the restlessness, the invisible weight, they did not come from nowhere. They were released to sabotage your alignment. Because if the enemy can destabilize your home, he can distract your destiny. And when your destiny is delayed, the people assigned to your voice, the people tied to your breakthrough, also remain bound. Hear this truth with urgency. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are anointed. Hell does not waste resources on the unassigned. The disturbance in your home is proof that you have something to birth, something to build, something to release into the world. You are carrying light. You are carrying legacy. And that makes you dangerous. But here's the strategy of the enemy. If he cannot destroy you in public, he will try to unravel you in private. He will come not through obvious storms, but through subtle shifts. A comment here, an argument there, a sudden coldness in the room, miscommunication, division, weariness, all designed to make you retreat, question, and close your spirit. But you must not fall for it. You must discern it. Because this conflict is not with the people in your home. It is with the spirits trying to invade your home. Your house is your altar. Your living room is your sanctuary. Your bedroom is your war room. Every room has spiritual meaning. The kitchen, where nourishment is prepared, the enemy seeks to spoil unity there. The bedroom, where rest and covenant reside, he tries to plant nightmares and distance. The entryway, where blessings enter and exit, he seeks to place heaviness at the threshold. Do not let him remain unnoticed. Do not let him go unchallenged. But take heart. You are not defenseless. You are not outnumbered. Heaven has seen the breach, and Archangel Michael has been dispatched with sword in hand. But he does not barge in where he is not welcomed. You must give him legal entry. You must establish order. That order begins with prayer, silence, and surrender. Do not react in the flesh. Do not speak in rage. Let stillness be your strategy. Let worship be your weapon. Let obedience be your shield. Because the outcome of this spiritual conflict depends not on how loud you shout, but on how deeply you submit. Heaven is drawn to honor. Power follows reverence. You are standing at the intersection of tension and triumph. What you choose tonight, fear or faith, silence or surrender, will determine the atmosphere of your home for weeks to come. Remember, your house is not just a house. It is a gate. And gates are guarded by warriors. Type "I guard this gate" in the comments if this resonates in your spirit. Blessing code 2244 is now being released over your threshold. Midnight is not just a time, it is a line. Once crossed, what remains hidden gains permission to multiply. There are moments in time when heaven leans in and listens. Moments when the veil between realms thins, and decisions made in silence echo loudly in the spirit. Right now, you are standing in such a moment. A moment before midnight. A moment charged with consequence. A moment where delay is dangerous and hesitation has a price. Because if the negative energy in your home is left unchallenged, it will not stay still. It will not fade on its own. It will grow. You have 72 hours. That is what has been revealed. 72 hours from the time you hear this message, and the force that has been hiding in silence will begin to multiply. Its roots will dig deeper. Its influence will expand. It will twist emotions, stir confusion, and plant doubt in sacred places. You may not notice it at first. That's how it works. Subtle, quiet, manipulative. But by the end of those 72 hours, your home will no longer feel like a sanctuary. It will feel like a battlefield. This is not a word of fear. This is a word of alertness. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Heaven does not expose what it does not intend to redeem. And if you are hearing this, then the mercy of God has not passed you by. There is still time, but there will not always be time. Midnight is not a suggestion. It is a boundary, a spiritual threshold. And once it is crossed, permission is given for what hath been tolerated to gain access. This is why you've been feeling what you cannot explain. This is why your sleep has been shallow, your thoughts scattered, your emotions volatile. This is not you being emotional. This is your spirit recognizing the weight of what is near. Heaven has been warning you, whispering to you, preparing you for this confrontation. Not with a person, not with a place, but with a presence. And yes, someone may be unknowingly channeling this energy against you. It may be their bitterness, their envy, their jealousy. But you must understand, spiritual influence can attach to people who do not even know they are vessels. This is why your warfare is not against flesh and blood. You don't need to fight them. You need to silence the source working through them. And that can only happen when you step into spiritual authority. The battle has been permitted because your elevation is near. Darkness is trying to delay your next. The enemy is terrified of your awakening. He does not fear your words, he fears your obedience. He does not fear your emotions, he fears your silence when commanded by God. Because silence, when consecrated, becomes thunder in the realm of the Spirit. So now what will you do with what you know? Will you scroll past this moment? Will you wait until midnight passes and wonder why things feel heavier? Or will you act decisively, boldly, prophetically? Before midnight, you must draw the line. Light your candle. Anoint your doorposts. Speak the name of Archangel Michael aloud. Declare your home off limits to darkness. This is not symbolic. This is spiritual law. You do not need to fear the next 72 hours. You need to confront them. Because the moment you speak, the moment you stand, the moment you stop agreeing with fear, heaven begins to send help. And when Michael enters, what was multiplying in secret begins to break apart in silence. Type "I refuse to wait" in the comments if your spirit agrees. Blessing code 3033 is activated. Let it seal your decision tonight. Be still. When you stop fighting, Archangel Michael begins. Now hear me clearly. Not everything requires your hands. Not every battle is meant to be fought with noise. There is a sacred stillness that releases supernatural intervention. The moment you stop trying to force control and begin to trust divine instruction, the realm of heaven responds. This is the posture that opens the gate for Archangel Michael to step in. This is how you shift the atmosphere from torment to triumph. Stillness is not surrender to the enemy. Stillness is surrender to heaven's authority. Tonight, your strategy is not to fight harder. It is to listen deeper. Every time you move without direction, you risk increasing the chaos. But the moment you choose silence, you invite divine order. Stillness is not the absence of power. It is the proof that you know where true power resides. And in this moment, it resides with Michael, the warrior who has never lost a battle he was sent to fight. You must prepare the ground, not with volume, but with obedience. There are specific instructions for tonight, and if you follow them, a divine shield will be released over your house, not just for this night, but for the nights to come. First, light a candle. This is not about the candle itself. It is about your intention. The flame represents light being welcomed back into your space. As you light it, you are making a declaration. This house shall burn with holy fire. Darkness cannot dwell here. Second, whisper the prayer. Do not shout it. Do not recite it like a chant. Whisper it with reverence. Speak as one who knows the angels are already listening. Speak as one who knows the air around them is shifting. Speak slowly, intentionally, with faith that the very walls of your home are absorbing the word. Say this: Archangel Michael, guardian of the righteous, enter this house with the authority of heaven. Draw your sword against every shadow that lingers. Pierce through the silence and remove what hides. Stand at my door and refuse entry to all unclean spirits. I welcome your presence. I honor your power. I receive divine protection now. After the prayer, do not speak again. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Let the presence settle. Let the room respond. The silence is not empty. It is filled with divine movement. In those 5 minutes, angelic alignment takes place. Demonic activity is exposed. Hidden things are pulled into the light. You may feel a chill. You may feel heat. You may feel peace. Whatever you feel, remain still. Your stillness is your shield. This is where most lose the battle, in the noise. They pray, but they panic. They speak, but they don't listen. But you are different. You are being given instructions from heaven because heaven sees you as capable of following them. And when you obey, the atmosphere bows. Fear loses its voice. Confusion loses its grip. Peace takes up residence once again. Repeat these words aloud before you rise. This house is sealed by heaven's command. No fear may enter. No shadow may stay. I am protected by divine assignment. Archangel Michael is here. You do not need to repeat this every hour. You do not need to battle through the night. When heaven moves, it moves with authority. One word, spoken in faith, is more powerful than 1,000 in fear. One moment of stillness and obedience is more effective than 100 hours of frantic action. Let peace reign. Let faith rise. Let Michael fight. Type I am covered in the comments to receive the seal of divine security. Blessing code 7171 is active. Angelic shields are now stationed around your home. You are not weak. You are rising. And what once broke you now fears you. This is the moment where everything begins to change. This is the moment where fear loses its grip and identity is restored. You were never meant to live beneath the weight of invisible chains. You were never meant to walk through your own home feeling like a stranger, like a captive in a place that was once your sanctuary. That heaviness was not yours to carry. That fear was never your inheritance. That confusion was never your calling. But now, hear the truth. What once tried to bind you has miscalculated. Because what entered your home expecting your silence did not anticipate your awakening. What thought it could multiply in secret did not expect your light to rise. And it is rising now, like fire through dry brush, like wind through stagnant air. Something in your spirit is shifting, and this time, it is not coming from the outside. It is emerging from within you. You are not the victim of this story. You are the vessel of its reversal. The shadows you once feared now tremble at your voice. The atmosphere that once drained you now responds to your command. Why? Because your authority has returned. Because heaven has reminded you who you are. Because Michael did not just come to protect you, he came to empower you. There is a difference between being rescued and being commissioned. And this is your commissioning. The time of hiding, of shrinking back, of second-guessing your discernment is over. You have been entrusted with spiritual responsibility. And when you stand in that authority, angels respond. Realize this now. The light within you is not fragile. It is forged. It has been refined through fire, through loss, through betrayal, through nights you did not think you would survive. And yet, you are here. You have wings that were folded under the weight of trauma. You have a voice that was quieted by years of spiritual gaslighting. But now, heaven has unfolded your wings. Now, the voice that once trembled with doubt is speaking with conviction. And the fire you feel burning inside your chest is not anxiety. It is the confirmation that you have been activated. Let me declare this clearly over you. The sword of Michael has not only cut through darkness in your home, it has also severed the cords that kept you small. The cords of generational fear. The cords of spiritual intimidation. The cords of false submission to things that God never asked you to carry. Those cords are now gone. Burned by the light. Cut by the sword. Walk through your home now, not as one afraid, but as one established. Every room you enter must now respond to your voice. Speak peace where there was panic. Declare order where there was chaos. Speak life where there was death. The atmosphere obeys the voice of the anointed, and that is now you. This is your transformation. This is your empowerment. You are no longer simply enduring the attacks. You are now reversing them. You are the breaker in your bloodline. The chain cutter. The atmosphere shifter. The one who carries heaven into every room you step into. Type I am rising in the comments if your spirit is waking up to this truth. Blessing code 8181 is now igniting divine fire within you. You are not under attack because you are forgotten. You are under attack because you have been noticed. What you've been feeling is not punishment. It's not spiritual abandonment. It's prophetic evidence that something in the heavens has shifted concerning your name. The unrest, the strange resistance, the pressure in the air, it's because you have come into spiritual view. Your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Your next season has already been approved. And now, the darkness that once ignored you has suddenly become obsessed with you. But understand this, the enemy does not pursue the ordinary. He only responds when destiny becomes dangerous. And your destiny has now become dangerous. What you carry, what you are about to step into, what your house has been called to host, it threatens the silence of hell itself. The assignment on your life has gone from potential to activation. And now, warfare is a sign that elevation is imminent. Let me say it plainly. The reason your home has come under spiritual assault is not because of something you did wrong. It is because of what God is about to do right through you. You are being elevated. You are being positioned. You are being entrusted with something weighty in the spirit. And before that next level can be revealed, the resistance has to be exposed. The hidden demonic networks that once operated quietly in your atmosphere are now being flushed out, not to scare you, but to prepare you. Heaven is speaking over you right now. You are sealed. You are marked. You are known. This is not the language of religion. This is the language of heaven's identification. You are not anonymous in the spirit. You are not invisible to God. In fact, your obedience in this moment has triggered angelic alignment. Michael has not only entered to defend, he has entered to announce. Your name has been approved for the next assignment. Your family had been selected for cleansing. Your house had been marked as a resting place for divine presence. But hear this. Before the blessing falls, the battlefield will rage. That is spiritual law. Just as the storm hit before Jesus crossed to the other side to deliver the man possessed by legion, so too does your storm signal your impending breakthrough. The enemy is trying to get you to abort the mission before it births. He's hoping the unrest in your home will cause you to doubt, to give up, to retreat into silence. But you won't. Not this time. Because now you know what this is. Now you understand what's truly at stake. The negative energy wasn't random. It was resistance. The voices of confusion weren't mental. They were spiritual distractions. And the timing, perfectly aligned. This isn't just another day. This is a prophetic window. Heaven has opened something over you, and this message is the confirmation. When you cleanse your home, you are not just removing darkness. You are making room for the next level of glory. You are preparing your home to house what your spirit has long prayed for. You are clearing the air for God to speak. And what you've been sensing in your spirit, that urge to pray deeper, to clean the atmosphere, to change the tone of your household, it's not just you. It's heaven pulling you into alignment. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being confronted because you are anointed. You are not under pressure because you are breaking. You are under pressure because you are about to birth something holy. This is not warfare without purpose. This is resistance because of recognition. And recognition always precedes revelation. Type "I am marked" in the comments if your spirit receives this truth. Blessing code 9991 is now declaring your name in the heavens. If this message spoke directly into your spirit, if it awakened something deep inside you, then this is your moment to respond with action, not just words. Every time you support this ministry, you become a part of a divine assignment, delivering God's voice into homes that feel spiritually abandoned. You help us break chains, waken warriors, and ignite purpose in lives teetering on the edge of silence. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." When you give, It's not a transaction. It's a trigger. A trigger for favor. A trigger for protection. A trigger for divine multiplication in your life. I believe someone listening right now is meant to sow into this moment. Not out of obligation, but out of recognition, because you felt God on this word. You can support through Super Thanks, become a YouTube member, or give directly through PayPal. The link is in the description. This seed is your declaration. My house will serve the Lord, and this voice will keep reaching others like me. Step into it now. Give boldly. Heaven sees you. Heaven is waiting for your yes, and your house is waiting for your voice. Now is not the time for passivity. Now is not the time to hope someone else prays, someone else rises, someone else speaks. Now is the time for you. Your silence in this hour is permission for darkness to linger. But your voice, your yes to heaven, is a divine trigger that shifts realms. What is resting on your home is not just pressure, it is potential. It is a prophetic weight that requires your agreement to activate. And heaven is poised. Angels are waiting. The Spirit is stirring. But the atmosphere will not shift until you open your mouth and declare, "This house belongs to the light." Destiny is not passive. It must be spoken into. It must be called forth. That is how God created the world, not by wishing but by speaking. And now, you must do the same. Walk through your home, not as a tenant, not as a guest, but as a divine steward of the atmosphere. Begin to prophesy room by room. Declare it with boldness, not to perform, but to command. This is not performance. This is governance. You are taking back the air. You are taking back the sound. You are reclaiming the atmosphere. Say it with power. This house belongs to light. Every door, every window, every corner, every room, sealed in the name of the Most High. When you speak these words, they do not echo empty. They land with weight. They carry authority. They slice through lingering shadows and push confusion out of hiding. The energy that once filled the room will begin to feel it. You may notice a shift in temperature, a stillness, a stirring, a trembling in your own spirit. That is not emotion. That is activation. You are stepping into dominion, and your house is now under new management. Because what the enemy counted on was your silence. What darkness hoped for was your hesitation. But your voice, your holy declaration, is the one thing it cannot copy, cannot mimic, cannot withstand. Hell can replicate religion. It can twist scripture. It can even hide behind false peace. But it cannot stand against a spirit-filled voice declaring heaven's ownership over earthly territory. And that territory is your home. Let heaven hear you now. Let hell hear you now. Let every spirit hiding in silence hear you now. This house is no longer neutral ground. This house is fire-marked, blood-covered, and sealed by divine decree. When you speak it, say it again. Say it until it takes root in the walls. Say it until the air responds. Say it until your soul feels clean again. Until the weight lifts. Until the shadows scatter. Until peace returns like a flood. And hear this. When you rise and make this declaration, heaven sends reinforcements. Angels move at the sound of God's voice, and you are speaking His will. You are echoing the King's decree. And every time you do, a gate closes to darkness and opens to destiny. What was once out of order begins to realign. What was stolen in silence begins to return in clarity. Your voice is not just for prayer, it is for dominion. The hour is late, but it is not over. Midnight is close, but your yes still holds weight. Do not delay. Speak now. Pray now. Claim the atmosphere now. Because once you declare that this house belongs to the light, all of heaven will move to defend what you have claimed. Type yes in the comments if you're stepping into full spiritual authority. Blessing code 5533 is now releasing divine keys into your hands. Something is happening that your eyes cannot see, but your spirit already knows. There is a stillness that isn't empty, a silence that is sacred. And in that silence, the Spirit moves with fire, not noise. Right now, as you obey, as you speak what heaven commands, as you declare ownership of your space, there is a divine exchange taking place. In the realm you cannot see, angels are moving. Chains are snapping. Invisible assignments are being revoked. What was sent to oppress you is now being reversed. And all of it is happening without a sound. Don't mistake the quiet for nothing. Don't assume that because the room feels still, nothing is shifting. The loudest battles in the spirit are fought in silence. Not because God cannot shout, but because he doesn't need to. Archangel Michael is not fighting with volume. He is fighting with authority. And the very moment you whispered the prayer, when you called on his name and invited him into your space, he drew his sword. He took position. He stood at your threshold, not to observe, but to guard. You must understand what has just happened in the spirit. The moment you obeyed, you opened a portal. A spiritual gate activated by faith, not fear. And as your voice declared ownership, heaven answered with reinforcement. You spoke light, and light responded. You rejected fear, and fear began to withdraw. You invited protection, and protection took its post. This is the exchange. What the enemy tried to steal in silence, heaven is returning in stillness. For every tear cried behind closed doors, strength is being deposited. For every night of unrest, peace is now overtaking. For every spiritual attack that drained your hope, there is now a restoration of divine order. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit already knows. You can feel the weight lifting. You can feel the air clearing. You can feel heaven moving around you. The battle is not always loud. The presence of angels is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, a sudden calm in the room, a deep breath that feels easier than before, a peace that doesn't make sense. That's when you know the exchange has happened. You gave up fear. You gave up control. You gave up the illusion of safety through self-preservation. And heaven gave you something better: divine protection, supernatural security, and a home guarded by the sword of Michael. This is why your spirit reacted to this message before your mind could make sense of it. Your spirit knew. It sensed the assignment against you. It recognized the shift. The battle began long before you played this message. The disturbance you felt wasn't paranoia. It was spiritual pressure. And now, as you remain still, the war is being won without your effort. Because this isn't your fight anymore, it's heaven's. Rest in that. Let that truth settle in you. The battle is not yours. The war is not yours. The weight was never yours. You only needed to recognize the season, obey the instruction, and stand in alignment. Everything else, the angelic assignments, the reversal of demonic influence, the sealing of your house, is being handled right now, even as you sit in silence. Tonight, there has been a transaction. Your faith released power. Your obedience invited angelic action. And now, even in your rest, the gates of heaven are open, and the sword of the Most High's war stands watch. Type "I receive" the exchange in the comments if you feel this quiet victory taking place. Lesson code 4411 is surrounding your home with angelic fire. What was meant to harm you is about to become your greatest testimony. Hear me now. The battle did not come to destroy you. It came to reveal you. And what has been warring against your home, your peace, your clarity, and your relationships is now being turned back to its source. You serve a God who not only protects, He avenges. He not only guards, He reverses. And tonight, spiritual justice is being issued on your behalf. There's a courtroom in heaven. There are scrolls that record every attack, every lie, every spirit that dared to enter what was holy. And now those scrolls are being unsealed. Every assignment of confusion, every whisper of fear, every chain that tried to fasten itself around your mind or your household, they have been exposed and brought before the throne of judgment. And the verdict has been released. Reversal. The very weight that tried to break you will now crush the darkness that sent it. You are not just receiving peace. You are receiving justice. Because when heaven moves on your behalf, it does not merely silence the storm, it brings judgment upon the one who sent it. Every tongue that spoke against you, every force that stalked your family in silence, every hidden hand that sowed disorder into your home, God saw it. Heaven documented it. And now, Archangel Michael stands not just as your defender, but as an enforcer of the King's decree. It is written, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord." That is not a metaphor. That is a promise. And tonight, repayment begins. You may not see it immediately with your physical eyes, but spiritually, the echo of this justice is already moving. Doors that were shut because of spiritual resistance will now open. Opportunities that were delayed will now be released. Peace that was stolen is returning. And joy, the deep, unshakable joy, is beginning to rise from places you thought were dead. You may feel something breaking in the atmosphere even now. A weight lifting, a shift in your chest, a clarity returning to your thoughts. That is not random. That is not placebo. That is reversal. That is heaven answering you, not with a whisper, but with divine intervention. The demonic tide has turned, and now what was rising against you has been commanded to fall beneath you. Don't miss this. The reversal is not just for your comfort. It is for your calling. God is restoring your house, yes, but He's also restoring your voice, your courage, your prophetic sensitivity, your authority to walk into other places of darkness and say, "Peace, be still. I have been through the fire, and I carry the flame." But you are walking through tonight is not just for you. It is for those you are about to lead out of their own oppression. So walk boldly now, Speak boldly. Rest boldly. Because your enemies have been confronted. Your spiritual courtroom has been called to order. And your house, your sacred dwelling, is now under the sentence of peace. No more disturbance. No more lingering shadows. Awarded. Justice has arrived. The sword of Michael has been drawn, and every spiritual adversary is being cast out and cast down. Tonight, not only are you protected, you are vindicated. Not only are you shielded, you are rewarded. This is your confirmation. This is your reversal. This is your testimony in the making. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you feel the Spirit confirming this in your soul. Blessing code 2288 is now bringing full reversal and divine repayment into your household. Before midnight, choose light, and Archangel Michael will guard you. Now that the battle has been exposed, now that the sword has been drawn, and now that your voice has reclaimed the atmosphere, the final moment stands before you like an open gate. This is not just a closing, this is a sealing, a spiritual conclusion that binds every word, every prayer, every silent surrender in the courts of heaven. Tonight is not ending in fear, it is ending in authority. And the one who began this night shaken will rise into a new day shielded, covered, and secured. You must understand, your obedience tonight has caused a ripple in the realm of the Spirit. Every word spoken in alignment, every declaration of light, every command spoken over your home has shifted something eternal. The air has changed. The gate has been cleansed. The throne has responded. And Archangel Michael, the warrior of the Lord, the commander of heavenly forces, has taken his post around your dwelling, not as a visitor, as a guardian. What is sealed in silence cannot be undone by noise. What is protected by heaven cannot be touched by hell. And you, chosen one, have aligned your house with the covering of divine justice. Rest in that tonight. Sleep in it. Walk in it tomorrow. This is not just for a moment. This is for a movement. What you started tonight has placed your home into spiritual covenant. Let me speak this blessing over you now, not as a wish but as a prophetic impartation. Peace shall guard your door. Light shall rise over your roof. The breath of heaven shall rest in your walls. No weapon formed shall prosper, and every tongue of darkness shall be silenced. Your sleep will be sweet. Your dreams will be clean, and your spirit will not be touched by torment again. Do not second guess what had been done. Do not look for signs of relapse. Heaven does not move halfway. What was broken tonight will not return. What was exposed will not regain strength. What was sent against you has failed, and its failure is final. You are walking into a new atmosphere now. Not one you found, but one you created. And that atmosphere will follow you, because you've become a carrier of divine presence. The weight is gone. The disturbance has been judged, and your home hath been claimed, not just as a place of rest, but as a gate of glory. Go now in peace. Go now in power. You are not alone. You are not vulnerable. You are not under attack. You are under protection. Let your body rest. Let your spirit rejoice. And let your house be filled with the sound of stillness. For the war is over, and the watchman stands guard. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if this final blessing rests upon you. Blessing code 1212 has now sealed your house with heaven's signature. If this message cleansed your spirit, if this word shifted the atmosphere of your home, then let your response be holy, not just in praise, but in partnership. You have just walked through spiritual warfare. You heard the voice of heaven. Now help us carry that voice into thousands more homes still battling in silence. Your support doesn't just keep a channel alive, it keeps the word moving. When you sow into this mission, you help break the darkness for others. You send light into lonely places. You extend the reach of this divine assignment. This is what it means to be part of a prophetic army, not just to receive, but to release. And when you give, heaven releases something back into your house as well. You can support through Super Thanks, become a monthly member, or bless this ministry through PayPal. The link is in the description below. Don't just scroll away. Declare your alignment with what heaven is doing through action. You boldly. Give as one who is covered. Give as one who says, "Let this fire keep spreading." Heaven will see it, and heaven will honor it.